What's up, everyone? Welcome to Level 7. It is time for another episode of the Agents of Fandom podcast. I'm your host, TJ Zwarich, and you'll never see me coming. We're talking some Wonder Man today. We're talking a little Daredevil Born Again. Plus, it's just been a really, really big week of teasers and trailers all throughout pop culture. I see one of our guests already laughing at me. I want to shout out our other guests because if you like that sweet intro we got to every episode of the Agents of Fandom podcast, we got the guy who made it joining us today. But first off, I got my guy Damon back here to chat a little bit about some Marvel stuff. It's been a while since we've gotten to do a little Marvel conversation.
It's been a while.
Oh, the guy who doesn't watch TV finally can watch TV again, TJ.
Finally,
the guy, I think actually the correct term was I don't watch shit. So I actually have shit to watch now. Yay.
I think probably what was the last TV show that we covered that you were watching? Was it Andor? It's been a while.
Wow.
It has been a long time, but I'm happy to be chatting some Wonder Man with you and also Daredevil, because we will of course be doing that in a couple months as well. We got the release date for Daredevil Born Again, March 24th. But we're talking the trailer today. We're also going to talk about the entirety of Wonder Man a little bit in a, spoiler-free or just kind of touching on it sense. And we'll go a little bit more in depth to the first 4 episodes. But breaking it down with us today and hanging out, chatting, we got Rachel Leishman of the Mary Sue. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm doing A-okay. You got me with my boy Maddie Merds, but also I have a performance theater degree, so I fucking love Wonder Man. So I'm excited to talk about both.
And like I teased earlier as well, the man who created our intro and outro music here for the podcast, the musical extraordinaire, co-host of the still co-host of the Listen 3000 podcast.
Yeah, sure.
You don't hear from them quite as much as you used to back in the day. But we got my guy Zen. How you doing, Zen?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be back here talking Wonder Man, talking all these trailers, man. I'm happy to be here.
I am so excited to have you joining us. We have had so many good times hanging out on podcasts, but also in person, New York Comic Con, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed you. And so I'm excited to have you back on the show. We'll also be having your Listen 3000 co-host Caesar back for next week, Monday, when we're going full in-depth to our Wonder Man breakdown. We'll also be having the wonderful Jenna Anderson, co-host of Phase Hero, and head creator, the owner, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but the person who runs Go Read Some Comics, which is one of the coolest new YouTube channels on all of YouTube.
The YouTuber?
I mean, yeah, but no, I want her to be like the
YouTuber Jenna Anderson, she hosts
head of comic book YouTube. I don't know, but Jenna's awesome and runs the channel Go Read Some Comics, and she's going to be joining us as well on Monday. So stay tuned for that show. Before we dive into either Daredevil or Wonder Man, though, I want to know what you've been watching. What else have you been watching? Damon, for you, it always kind of turns to what you've been reading or listening to, but I will still throw it to you first. What you've been watching?
Why do you always throw it to me first when you know I don't watch shit?
Well, this because I know it's gonna be quick. And you can just slide it out, and then we'll throw it to Rachel and Zen.
Slide it out.
Oh, all right. Okay. This is already taking a turn, TJ. Golly.
We're gonna slide out, we're gonna slide in, we're gonna have all kinds of good times.
Yeah, there goes the monetizing. Oh God, what have I been doing? Well, I haven't been watching much. I'll say that much. I have been playing a lot of Arkham Asylum, I think. I've been going through the Arkham trilogy on my Switch too, because I'm making the most of that purchase. And reading wise, I mean, look, I've been loving these DC Absolute Comics right now. DC KO is going on, which is essentially kind of a Superman story, but it's like, hey, let's kind of throw all these heroes and villains into a giant tournament, see who comes out on top. it's probably going to be Superman, shocking to everyone. And the winner takes on Darkseid. Big tournament, bang bang. But hey, I think in a couple weeks, in a week or two, we get to see Superman punch Homelander in the face many times, and I will be there for that.
I too have been playing some video games. I have finished Cyberpunk 2077, and I am now becoming obsessed with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, it's just, I'm in my Greek year. You know, we got not one, but 2 seasons of Percy Jackson coming in the year 2026. We got Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey coming, and it's an Odyssey year for me. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey is what I'm playing right now. It's my first ever Assassin's Creed game, and I'm having, I mean, yes, a lot of fun, but honestly, more just like, it feels like an addiction. There's just so much to do, and I close my eyes and I'm thinking about this game, and I'm just deep into it right now. And so my plan is to just keep grinding and get through it so that I can just be done, because it is taking up way too much of my brain space right now. Rachel, I can't say anything without you making fun of me, and so I'm going to throw it to you, and I'm going to make fun of you the whole time.
Make a Greek joke. Make a Greek joke.
But did you know that they don't say dad in Greek apparently? According to the internet? No, but
wait till they see the Cyclopses, because they don't have those in Greece either.
Yeah, you can't go see a Cyclops or a Medusa when you're there. I have been watching a lot of stuff that I guess is technically embargoed. Like, I've seen 11 episodes of The Pit. I watched all of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Episode 5 is really good. I watched one of my most anticipated movies of the year, shockingly starring Glenn Powell. What else have I been watching? Oh, me and Leah have been watching MASH for like 2 years. We've seen it already. It's just a comfort rewatch. So it's kind of fun watching hot Alan Alda, happy birthday king, running around as Hawkeye Pierce. So I'll say that is what I'm watching, is MASH.
I also got through season 3 of Shrinking, and the embargo lifted for that one, so I can talk about that spoiler free. God, I love this show. It's so good. Go watch Shrinking. If you have not watched any Shrinking yet, make that your priority to catch up ahead of season 3. It's just such a good show. You'll laugh, you'll cry. I did think, as I was going through it, season 3 was a little bit weaker than the first 2 seasons. Not that it was bad, just I thought the first 2 seasons were pretty close to perfect. Mm-hmm. And the third one was a little bit just kind of more comedy focused and a little less emotional than the first 2, I thought. And then, damn, do they hammer it home at the end. They hammer it home at the end so damn well, and it makes everything worth it. And so go watch Shrinking. You'll laugh, you'll cry. I think that's probably the TV show that I've cried the most while watching. It just gets me every 2 or 3 episodes, I swear. But Zen, how about you? What you been watching?
It hasn't been too crazy lately. I've been trying to catch up on Industry. So I think I'm on like season 3 of that right now. And Percy was really good this season. I'm excited. You saying that the next season comes out later this year, so I'm excited for that too. But season 2 was good. So that's kind of what I've been bouncing between those 2. Kind of like super extremes. Like one is like light and one is super heavy. But yeah.
I will also say, someone in the comments said no Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I watched that like 3 weeks ago, so I fully forgot. But I have seen that. It's really good. But I've watched the whole thing like 3 weeks ago, so I just forgot it's currently airing.
I've heard some really good things about it.
It's very fun. I've
been a lot of people, especially who I had talked to, who didn't really care for House of the Dragon that much, have been tuning into this one and being like, this is what I was hoping for from House of the Dragon. Like, this is the type of Game of Thrones that I was looking for. And so I'm not a Game of Thrones guy myself. I haven't seen Thrones. I haven't seen House of the Dragon. It's one of my biggest like fandom omissions. But I was actually wondering, Rachel, is this something I can just watch and enjoy without having seen any Thrones?
Yeah, there's references you're all obviously gonna miss, because there's like a Targaryen and like Daniel Ing's character is a Baratheon, who are important in the like flagship show. So like you're just missing stuff like that, but it's not like you have to know the lore to watch it. It's kind of like you can enjoy it and then maybe go back and then you'll watch it and be like, oh, these guys are who are related to those people, and do it that way. But like, other than that, it's kind of its own thing. It's a lot of how I feel about Starfleet Academy, where it's like, if you wanted to jump into Star Trek, that's like a good kind of, you don't have to know so much, even though there are references to Star Trek movies and shows prior to it. I think it's like it's a lot like that, where you'll miss the references, but you can still enjoy yourself.
I'm kind of hoping for just like something small, like a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, watch that and then have it give me the bug and then go, okay, now it's time to start Game of Thrones. Now it's time to finally watch it. And I've just never had
after just the small ones.
Yeah, I've never had the push, because as soon as I was like, wow, this is a worldwide phenomenon, I got to do it, everybody was so down on how it ended, and then it just didn't. I know I would still enjoy the ride, but I just didn't have the push to do it because of the worldwide disappointment in how it ended. But I definitely think I might check out A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. What about trailers this week? I'm curious, like, I don't want to go break down every single one of them piece by piece. Literally just hours ago, we got a Paradise Season 2 trailer, and that is one of the shows as well that we are very highly anticipating here at Agents of Fandom. We're going to do a show for that one. Myself, Jam, and Ryan are going to be co-hosting a Paradise podcast, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We got a lot of exciting upcoming content, actually. We're going to be talking Paradise, we're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again, and we're going to be talking Invincible all in February, March, as those three shows come up. So we're going to have a lot of content starting in the end of February. So make sure you like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts, here on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any shows. Because in addition to the Wonder Man content we're doing today and Monday with Caesar and Jenna, we also got my interview with Andrew Guest, now up on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, a showrunner, EP, head writer. We talked about why Wonder Man, why is this a character that Marvel wanted to spotlight? We talked about who else would he want to see Simon Williams team up with in the MCU? So go check that out on YouTube, wherever you get your pods. And one of the trailers, like I said, we got was Paradise. I forgot why I went on that tangent. Paradise trailer just dropped a couple hours ago, but there's been tons over the last few days. We got a new little Supergirl teaser highlighting Jason Momoa as Lobo. We got a Masters of the Universe teaser trailer. We got a Maul Shadow Lord trailer, the new Star Wars show coming to Disney Plus. I didn't get to see it because they didn't show it here in Canada, but during the AFC and NFC Championship games, they showed an all-new Odyssey trailer with Travis Scott narrating it, and threw a lot of people off. We're like, why the hell is Travis Scott in this movie? And then I was listening to the Ringerverse podcast, and they were talking about how, well, him and Christopher Nolan, they're friends because he did some music for Tenet, and apparently they get along. And so shout out to Travis Scott making it back into this one. But Zen, I'll throw it to you first. Did you catch any of these trailers outside of Daredevil, and were there any of them that really stood out to you and kind of made you go, damn, I'm excited for this one?
Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of those. The one that stood out to me the most might be the Maul trailer. I feel like that was the one I wasn't expecting. I had no clue they were doing a Maul show, and then once I seen it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be crazy. Just the animation, the choreography. I'm like, oh, they're cooking here with that one. That one and the Master of the Universe trailer. I'm not super familiar with He-Man, but from what I was seeing, it looks like it's going to be a fun movie. So those two were the ones that I was like, oh, I'm here for that.
Damon, how about you? I got to imagine it's Supergirl that's standing out for you.
Yeah, you think so. You think so, because it is. Look, it was our first real look at Lobo and Jason Momoa as Lobo, which is just Jason Momoa as Jason Momoa with a little bit of makeup on him. And you're like, yep, that's Lobo right there. That's fucking Lobo. I'm excited for that movie. I'm excited for a general audience, hopefully, to really like see Lobo and all of that, because I feel like that's a character that is going to very easily and quickly stand out in that film, to a point where it's like, yeah, maybe he can get like a little like special on HBO Max or whatever James Gunn has cooking for him. Like, he's one of those characters that you can do a lot with later on. And even if it's like very early on, and even if he's not a whole lot in the movie, which he shouldn't be, it's not his movie, Supergirl's movie, it sets him up to do some more things. So I'm looking forward to that movie. I love that book. with all its flaws and everything. I love that book so much. I'm so excited for it.
Can't wait for that movie as well. I forgot there also was a new Super Mario Galaxy trailer. We got the introduction of Yoshi. Oh, that was terrible. It was going to sound way better in my head. That did not come out the way I wanted it to.
Yoshi!
Rachel, how about you? What trailer stood out to you?
Masters of the Universe. Because first of all, it gave me my favorite thing that has ever happened on the internet, which is like angry men angry that there's a he-him joke for a character who is named He-Man. And then they would say they gave He-Man pronouns, and I'm like, child left behind. They're all left behind, because what do you mean? You're saying a pronoun.
Their names are He-Man and She-Ra.
Like, my favorite thing on the internet in recent years was watching the meltdown about a really funny joke where he has he, him, and it's He-Man. So you're like, oh, that's funny. And they're so mad. They gave him pronouns. His name is a pronoun. It's a pronoun and a noun put together. Congrats. The English language is beautiful. You should study it. But like, truly, like, the trailer's fun. It made me really excited. But like, that part of it was so funny. I was just thriving watching people say pronouns to complain about pronouns. I was like, y'all are, and then I got yelled at for using the George Bush meme where it says child left behind because they don't know what it is. It was a great week. No one knew, no brain cells existed in that regard. Other things, shitty week, but that was a good. And I also
Replies just filled with grok. What does this mean?
But, and then what was the other? There's so many trailers. I don't know. I'll just stick with He-Man for now because that was funny.
Jared Leto as Skeletor, TJ.
At least you can't see that he's Jared Leto. Like,
why do we keep trying to make him happen? Here's the thing. I don't like him, but I didn't hate Tron Ares because he's a robot, so you're supposed to be like he's wooden as shit. And also Evan Peters is incredible in that movie. So it kind of made up for a lot of shit. And also Jeff Bridges responding to Jared Leto's bullshit with, I don't know, man, the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, I don't really need his Skeletor. But it is what it is.
It's one of those, TJ, that like we brought up earlier in the last episode. We're talking about like $1 billion movies, and it's like I fear this one's going to get beyond lost in the great landscape of the blockbusters of 2026. Like, this is, and then you throw Jared Leto in there, which is just like a movie curse over the last 8 years, however long it's been.
I think there are enough people nostalgic for Masters of the Universe that it'll do something, but like, it's going to be the 54th highest grossing blockbuster of 2026. Like, they're just
headline now: Jared Leto failure finds streaming success in fall of 2026. Already write it out. It's already there.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Those exist.
I think I was Zen. The one that stood out to me the most was the Maul Shadow Lords. I'm really excited for that show. Star Wars animation is some of my favorite Star Wars. Like, Rebels is the #1 best Star Wars thing to me. And so I'm really excited for this. I'm excited for Maul's story. Stealing kind of another conversation they brought up on the Ringerverse this morning, I did because I thought it was interesting. I want to ask you guys, one from like to the general public, like if you were trying to make an objective list, and then two, as just like a mega Star Wars fan, like we all are, where would you rank Darth Maul among the villains of Star Wars? If it's Darth Vader 1, Palpatine 2, I think from a general public standpoint, Maul's the #3 Star Wars villain.
Just by look, though. It's just because he looks
He
really
looks really
cool.
He does look really cool. Yeah.
Even when he dies in Rebels, it is the funniest shit ever because he's been prepping for this for fucking years, and Obi-Wan Kenobi kills him in one fail swoop. Like, it's like this big buildup, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, whoop, and then he's dead again. So, like, genuinely hilarious that this man's whole deal is that he's like, revenge, and then he keeps dying. I will say, Palpatine, I hate that bitch. So, like, if we're going based on, like, General public, sure, but for me, absolutely not. I hate him. I wish we'd put him away. Stop playing with him. He's boring. I would do Darth Vader because I was obsessed with Anakin Skywalker, and then probably Maul just because he looks cool.
Thrawn would be right at the top for me, like Vader and Thrawn, just because of Rebels and how great he is there. MTF in chat bringing up a good point is this Kylo Ren erasure. And I kind of feel like for Kylo, if he's definitely a more popular character, but I don't know if it's necessarily as a villain. You know what I mean?
Ben
like, I don't
Solo
think
is the character everyone loves.
Yeah, I think Ben Solo is the people that is the one that people want more of, and Kylo is just more of like as a villain, he's not that scary. He's just kind of like a kid throwing tantrums. You know what I mean? Like the redemption side of Ben is the one we are, I think, more attached to. But Zen, how about you? Where would you have Maul?
I think I would have him at 3 as well. Like you said, he's like the coolest looking villain. That double-bladed lightsaber, like every time. I've seen it a billion times, and once he does it, it's like, oh, I'm here, man.
And he has Duel of the Fates.
At worst, second coolest lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars.
For sure.
But the coolest like battle song in all of maybe cinema. I think it beats Chariots of Fire when it's like do 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 like Duel of the Fates.
That would be something I would like from like an animated Star Wars, not in live action, but specifically animated, would be a what if story of if Qui-Gon won the Duel of the Fates and he survived, what would that look like for Anakin Skywalker? That would be a story I would like to see. MTF bringing up Krennic and Dooku. Don't think
Where's General Chicken? General Grievous looks like a chicken, so I call him General Chicken. Didn't see him.
Inclusive of, I don't know, Dooku just kind of sucks. I've never really cared about Dooku. Alas, let's pivot to some Daredevil Born Again, because this was, of all the trailers that dropped, this was the one that really rocked me. This is the one that got me really excited. And
yep, go get it, Damon.
Like, there are barely any words spoken in this trailer.
Sorry, Zen, this is what Damon
holy shit, did it get me excited for season 2. Just like a montage of looks and scenes from what we're going to get this season. Rachel, I'll throw it to you first for this one so that Damon has to just keep that helmet on the whole time, because I feel like he's going to take it off when he starts talking. And so I want to delay it. I want to make him wear it for a longer time.
We have done this before. When we talk about Daredevil, we both just put shit on and then keep it off.
Before we get into the specificities of it, what did you think of this trailer? Because I thought it was one of the better Marvel TV trailers we've ever gotten.
Well, yeah, because I have a bunch of questions. And I feel like that's what we're like missing. Because I remember like during Avengers Endgame, there were like things that they would tease us and then we would have to like unpack it all and like, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I feel like we've like lost a little bit of that. Like their trailers are more straightforward, giving you like just like the vibe of it. And this is like one of the first times that I watched a trailer and I was like, oh my God, like, okay, cool. I want to know like what's going on with Matt and Karen, what's going on with it. Like I wanted to break it all down. And that's not only because Matt's one of my favorite characters ever, but I think it's more just like I was this first season of Born Again is so good that like the second season, I'm really excited to see where they take it. And so I liked that overall. It felt like kind of an old school Marvel trailer in the sense that we all kind of wanted to break it down and see what was going on.
Zen, how about you?
First off, I want to shout out Emma and Ryan in the chat. They were saying how the song choice was really great. I loved how they used the music in the trailer, how it kind of like they did a lot of the story beats in the trailer using the song. So I thought that was really cool. And I'm just excited, man. I feel like the last season, although I did have fun, it felt like it left a little bit to be desired. So like, I feel like this trailer is just giving me everything. I'm like, this is all I wanted from Daredevil. Like, turn it up. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm like Rachel was saying, I'm curious to know what a lot of this means, but it just raised my hype level even more.
Damon, how about you? General thoughts, and then lead us into a little bit of this breakdown Matt Murdock is on the run. He is wanted. Their posters are up. He's missing. Where is our guy Matt Murdock? And is he on the run because Fisk's starting to reveal his identity? What's going on here? Take me into the brain of your into your masked brain.
Well, what didn't say wanted poster was a missing poster.
Yes.
Which I think is important, right? I think Matt Murdock is missing. Obviously, like we haven't even brought up the fact that like we finally see Jessica Jones finally as well, which JJ's like season 1 of Jessica Jones is my favorite season of Marvel Netflix television, period, hands down. My favorite season of any Marvel television from that side of the ABC crew, if you want to split it up that way, that they've ever put out, period. It's that good.
TJ said not specific, so I didn't bring up Jessica because TJ said don't do
Yeah, Jessica is its own segment.
I'm just saying. I was like, don't. I would have brought
I
up.
can't not talk about this without bringing up JJ. So I'm really, really, really excited for that. Yeah, so Matt's on the run, seemingly not Daredevil's missing, but Daredevil now that we see like the black suit, which looks so good. I was gonna quickly bring up the music, and I think it's crazy that they got Prowler to do the track on that, so that's really sick. Wild choice there. But I think one of the wildest things, I texted you immediately after seeing this. I knew you knew I was gonna bring this up, where it's like him and Karen, and then you see a little bit of Foggy. So it's like, all right, those are to me flashbacks. And all of a sudden, Matt and Karen having a moment, and then Matt freaks out. Something happened. He seemingly hears something before Karen does. I'm like, are we finally seeing like what Matt experienced during the blip?
Well, this was going to be its own segment too, but we can start with this.
I can't not get like that. To me, this is like my like whole reaction to it, because the whole trailer is so like just kind of artsy. Like there isn't like any story threads or anything. It's a vibe, and the vibe's good. But I can't like not go at this trail without going up at direct things that I see.
Let's talk about that specific part.
I think we should sing "Caught a Vibe" for Daredevil because he said vibe, and I was just like, "Caught a vibe." Sorry, go ahead.
I want to talk about the Matt, Foggy, Karen of it all first. Do we think that the Karen and Matt stuff that we see in this trailer that is past? That is, you know, like maybe Damon said, in the blip period, during the blip, some point between when we last saw Matt and when we first saw him in the first season of Daredevil Born Again, or are they back together in the present? And secondarily, same with Foggy. Are we going to see the revival of Foggy Nelson in this series in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, or is this a flashback with him? What do you think, Rachel?
I haven't thought about it being a flashback of them smooching. I thought it was two friends who were like, our friend is dead, we should just smooch. Because there was like more weird tension between them again in this season. Like it happened on the original run of the show. Then it was like very clearly like, no, Matt was with Elektra. She was kind of having her little flirtation with Frank. And then season 1 of Born Again, it felt like they were kind of back to like the teasing tension that they had. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the present. However, I do know that there's a whole storyline where Foggy actually didn't die and it was a whole sacrifice thing and all of that stuff. I wouldn't be mad about that just because I didn't get my Stranger Things wish, which was Eddie Munson as a vampire. So I'm going to put the energy that I had on that towards Foggy Nelson as, you know, a fake sacrifice play and him coming back. So I'm going to say it's in the present too.
We get live action Blade Mahershala Ali for the first time showing up in Daredevil Born Again season 2 because Foggy is a vampire. And that's the plot, is Daredevil has to fight Blade because he's got to convince him not to kill his best friend. Damon, you touched on the Foggy the Karen and Matt stuff. I do love the theory that like that could be the blip. And MTF brought up a cool point as well, that could have been Thunderbolt's Void Shadow that he was starting to hear coming. But I want to hear your theory on the Foggy of it all. Was that a flashback, or is our guy coming back?
No, that had to be a flashback. Like, they would not reveal a huge plot point like that, like Foggy coming back via a trailer. That to me is like an obvious flashback. I'm fine with Foggy coming back in the end. I know I'm still kind of like, you kill someone, keep them dead type of thing. But in the world of Daredevil, if you're going to kill someone and bring them back, there's only one way you can do it. And that's when you bring in the Hand and all of their resurrecting shenanigans. Because once you bring them in, then we can bring in Elektra back. Which I would love to see Elektra come back. I would love to see it. And I'd love to see her take on the mantle of Daredevil like she has in the comics over the last recent years, which is a lot of what this entire show is based on. I know it says Born Again, but it's really based on like the whole Reign of Kingpin vibe from Chip Zdarsky. So or Devil's Reign. So that's what I'm really hoping for.
Emma says she'd love to see the Hand. MTF says he is most excited for the return of Detective Mahoney. Our guy from the Netflix series is going to be back for season 2 of this one. Zen, how about you? Are Karen and Matt back together? Was this a flashback? And what is the deal with our guy, Foggy Nelson?
So the Karen and Matt thing, I think that might be present. But the Foggy thing, I definitely feel like that's a flashback. Like, I agree with Damon. Like, I don't think they're going to give that up so quickly in the trailer, especially this early. So, But the Karen and Matt stuff, it could go either way. I'll say that much. Like, it could be a flashback. It could be present day. I feel like what Rachel was saying, they were kind of teasing it last season. So if they do that, I'm not mad at it.
I want to throw it to you first for Jessica Jones. Obviously, it's exciting we get her back. Where do you think she is at in her point of the story? Are we going to get at least... Even if we don't get Luke Cage in this season, which I do think we will, are we going to get reference to him with Jessica? Do you think they're going to be together? Do you think they're going to have their daughter from comics? Where do you think we're going to meet Jessica at in this story?
So I'm going to preface this with this. I did not watch Jessica Jones, but I know. But I did watch The Defenders. I do like the character. So I am going to be going back before this season starts to watch Jessica Jones. I will. But
you got to watch season 1.
Jessica.
Season 1 is arguably the best season of Marvel television of all time.
Okay.
Season 2 is just meh.
Season 2 is
season
okay.
3 is horrific.
Season 3 is real bad. Season 3, if they can somehow retcon season 3 to make it that never happened, I'd be totally
How dare you? Benjamin Walker deserves his time in the MCU.
I do not need
Bring him in.
Patsy Walker to be Hellcat, please. Thank
No,
you.
I don't care about Patsy. I'm talking about Benjamin Walker, the actor who plays our love interest in that season.
It's just that Jessica Jones is literally the 4th main character in Jessica Jones season 3, and it's just awful.
Yeah.
Rachel, how about you? Where do you think we're going to pick up seeing Jessica? Do you think
Zen
she'll be with
something else
Luke?
to say.
Do you think they'll have... Oh, Zen, you still got more? My bad.
Oh, yeah. I am familiar with the storyline with Jessica and Luke Cage. So I hope they do that. That's all I want to say. So go ahead.
I also like MTF's theory in chat here that Elektra is going to show up in season 2 just as Matt and Karen are about to make things official. Rachel, we got the return of Jessica Jones in this one. Do you think more Defenders come alongside with her, or is season 2 just going to be a Jessica special?
I think it would be at the end. It would be like a tease for the 3rd season to have, I hope we get to see Jessica Henwick again. I literally just watched a movie with her and I was like, I miss her. I don't mind Finn Jones as Danny. Like, I think it's just, Danny Rand is a white rich boy, and I think people didn't like that, but that is who he is in the comics. But I do love
I just didn't like that he couldn't fight.
I do love
the immortal Iron Fist, the master, the martial arts master of the group, was by far the worst fighter.
Yeah, because he had Jessica Henwick at his side, and she was better at it. But I will say, I also want to watch him and Ward Meacham just off trying to go on a quest together, because Ward is my favorite character from Iron Fist. But anyways, I think it would be the end of the season. I think bringing Jessica Jones back is such a big deal, especially because I know I'm very not alone in me saying this, but watching Jessica Jones, I was like, oh, representation for girls who wear the same dirty pair of jeans multiple times and are I'm not washing these. I wore them one time. I was like, that's my girl.
A group
I love
that
her.
notably needs more representation in TV and film.
Yeah, the messy girls. We do. No, I love her very much. I'm so happy she's back, but I do think it's not going to be like a Jessica Jones show. I think it's going to be her in like a couple of episodes, like a handful, and then maybe by the end of the season we will see more of the Defenders, or maybe one of them comes and is like, okay, Matt, like we need you to help us with this thing or whatever it is.
Damon, I believe we were on the same page with this theory that we're going to get Jessica in season 2, and maybe the end point will be bringing in Luke Cage. Why are we bringing in Luke Cage? To run for mayor against Wilson Fisk.
Perfect. Yep, that's how Devil's Reign kind of comes to an end. Is Luke Cage comes in, he's like, I'm the only person who can take him down. Let's do it. Yeah, I really need to see Luke Cage also at the back end of this, because Jessica and Luke, their dynamic is just so good. You brought up the kid. Will we see Danielle, who's Jessica and Luke's daughter, who in a timeline in the future does become a Captain America? She is superpowered. Do we see her down the line? Yeah, I hope so, because if we're doing another Jessica Jones, like maybe a mini series or something, I would like it to be Purple Baby, which is a Kelly Thompson mini story, and it's fantastic. So good. You could even throw in Emma. You could even throw in White Queen in there as well, because she plays a huge part in that. I'm so excited for Jessica Jones to be back. I think she's an incredible character. Zen, please go watch season 1. It's that good.
I will.
It's that good. The Purple Man is like a top two Marvel villain, arguably the best Marvel villain.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I will say I love the idea of Luke running for mayor in this show, only because I currently love our mayor. So it's really nice when a show represents real life in loving a mayor, because I love Zoran Mamdani, who people were like, let's go see if he'll play in the snow with us. So like Luke Cage being the mayor of New York City, I'd be like, perfect. Luke Mamdani, yeah, listen. I would go ask Luke Cage if he wants to play in the snow. Like people try to do with so.
They're probably gonna like try and film a scene and just like reshoot something and shoehorn Mamdani into a little cameo scene in Daredevil Born Again season 2.
So happy. You don't understand. Like he just shakes Luke Cage's hand. I'd be like, this is the greatest day of my life.
Damon, I did have one more Daredevil related thing I wanted to ask before you took the mask off, but I guess that's okay.
No, it's okay. Hold on. We'll
okay, we got the shades.
We'll
Good now.
Let's go.
Anything you want to mention with Bullseye, Fisk, or any other Easter eggs that popped up in this trailer?
These are so broken, by the way.
Mine are also crooked. It's fine. Just go.
Oh God, were there any Easter eggs?
You just got punched. You still need to wear your glasses.
Yeah.
Poindexter,
yeah. Sorry, I just got punched by Mayor
Poindexter.
Fisk over here. I'm kind of losing it. Did I notice any Easter eggs? Honestly, no, because I only saw the trailer once. I saw it once and I was like, yep, that's a vibe. And I've seen a couple people, I will say, I've seen a couple people being like, this is weird. This isn't gonna like anything reflective of what the series is going to be like. And I think from the point of the perspective of the trailers, to me, I'm like, that's a little bit of the point, because the perspective of the task force coming in to make things look good and happy with like a nice little cherry on top and yay, but it's like deep down, it's really distorted, right? I think that to me is like the vibe of the trailer that I'm getting with, and what I'm really looking forward to. I don't know where the season's going to go. I would like to see, if we're going 1-for-1-ish with the comics, Matt gets arrested. Not Matt, Daredevil gets arrested as being a vigilante, and that's when Elektra takes over as Daredevil. So I would like to see it go that route. If they're not going that route, though, which they may not, I don't know where it's going to go.
Rachel, how about you? Anything Bullseye or Fisk related you want to talk about before we transition to Wonder Man?
Here's the thing. I'm fucking tired of Poindexter. Like, I know he's important. I get it. But boy, oh boy, does Poindexter constantly show up and just piss me off. And I know that's the point, but I'm tired of him. Fisk, on the other hand, perfect. No notes. Be your evil bad self. I love you so much. But I'm just all I want, and it will never happen except maybe in the movie. I just want Fisk and Spidey to look at each other. They don't need to
I know.
talk. They don't need to do anything. I just want them to stand next to each other because that's my favorite thing in the comics is how much bigger Fisk is than Spider-Man, and Tom Holland is much shorter than Vincent D'Onofrio. So I do want to just see that. Matt doesn't even need to be there, even though I would prefer it. I do want to see the two of them just like glance at each other.
Me too. That's a dream. That's a dream interaction in the MCU that I'm still waiting for. Zen, how about you, my friend? Any final thoughts on the trailer?
I'm just excited for the ride, man. I gotta agree with Damon. Like, I don't really know, even from the way this trailer was edited, I'm not really sure where they're taking it. I know we're going to war with Fist, so I'm just happy for it to be back, and I'm excited to see where they're gonna take us because it looks crazy. It looks like it's gonna be a fun time.
Let's make the transition to Wonder Man. Zen, I will keep it with you. Even if you haven't watched it yet, we'll start things off spoiler free. But if you are going to get out of here or hit pause on your podcast, watch Wonder Man and come back, leave us a 5-star review over there and hit the like button if you're watching us on YouTube before you scram. But we're happy to have you as we transition into Wonder Man. Zen, how many episodes have you been able to get through so far? Obviously, it just released last night. And what are your spoiler-free thoughts on the series so far?
I got to see the first 5, and I loved it. I loved it. I know everybody been comparing it like to the studio with I guess the behind the scenes of like filmmaking and all that, and I definitely have to agree. I love the perspective of the struggling actor, and it feels like it doesn't even feel like an MCU show. I feel like that's like the icing on top. Like we're getting the powers and stuff like that in the background, but I love the tone of the show. I love Ben Kingsley. I love Yaya. Their chemistry is so great, and I hope we get more. And I'm excited to finish the rest of the show.
Couldn't agree more, especially with the Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen stuff. That's just two really, really good actors cooking. As at the end of the day, like I like the story, I like the comedy in this series, I like the emotional stakes that have been set. But at the end of the day, it's just getting to see those two really, really talented actors just cooking for 8 episodes is really, really cool. Rachel, how about you? What are your general spoiler-free thoughts on Wonder Man?
So, as someone who studied acting, I had the time of my life because it was like they're so nerdy about process, and it's like the way that Simon is about like writing things down. That is literally what they taught us to do in school. So then it took improv to kind of get me out of that because you're like you can't think that much. It's just supposed to help you like build. And so I really loved the dynamic between Trevor and Simon because of that, because Trevor was more of the improv side of things where he's like, just forget about that. Like, that's great and all, but you have to also like be able to listen and do stuff. And so it was like, that was the nerdiest part for me, was like the acting little things. So I loved that. I also loved that Joey Pants is in this and Josh Gad. I think that is genuinely like funny that they're like, oh, we'll bring these people in, but they are like their names. Because that's been happening a lot in TV, and I'm like, this is driving me crazy. Because like, I love that there's a Ryan Murphy reference in this because I watched it right after I had watched The Beauty, and in there's a Glenn Powell reference. So I was like, okay, so is this not in the same universe as Scream Queens? Because then he wouldn't exist. So it's that stuff to me is the most fun about a show like Wonder Man, is like, okay, well, if this exists in Wonder Man, then that means it cannot exist in the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Josh Gad can never just like show up as a character because he was in Wonder Man as Josh Gad. Fun.
I was not expecting the Olaf appearance when I started watching this show, and then he just popped in. I've been hearing that man's voice so much as someone with a nearly 2-year-old daughter lately. And so I did not expect him popping up in Wonder Man as well.
Like, this is not a real spoiler, but spoiler, like when he's singing the summertime song, like as like a like trap remix, I couldn't handle it because I was like, why are we doing this? Why is it happening?
I've heard that song so much lately. I can just, yeah. Anyways, Damon, what were your spoiler-free thoughts on the show so far? How many episodes have you gone through?
I have finished the show. I watched 4 last night and then 4 today. I think this is one of Marvel's smartest written show. I think the humor is so well done. Yaya and Sir Ben Kingsley just command the screen whenever they're both on, especially when they're both on. The way they work off each other is so good. I only have one qualm with the show, and we'll get into it. But I really did really like it. I think one of my favorite parts, not to bring it up spoily, but vaguely, there's kind of like a little bit of a production meeting, emergency production meeting, like in one of the trailers. And all someone wants to do is just change a simple line in a script, and it just turns into, well, how about we just recontextualize the entire and it was just like, no, we just want to change the wording, just the word needs to change. But like, working with creative people all the time, I thought that was hilarious. Like, that was just like a moment like that happens every day, and I just thought that was perfect.
Let's start diving into full spoilers of episodes 1 through 4. If you do want to reference anything after that, feel free to, but just give the people a spoiler warning, give them a chance to, if they're not there yet, don't want to hear yet, take out those AirPods, whatever it is, what kind of headphones they have, hit the mute button, and we can still talk about them, but let's just make sure that people give people fair warning. And so, spoiler warning through the first 4 episodes right now. Rachel, you talked about some of that process stuff. There are some really sweet moments in it, especially when Trevor and Simon get together and start working through processes together. But the first scene on the American Horror Story set, that gave me so much secondhand embarrassment. I was just cringing the whole time of like, oh God, dude, please, no. Like, it just, oh, that was tough. Which side of the spectrum, as say, if Rachel tomorrow said, you know what, screw it, I don't want to interview these people anymore, I'm going to be the star myself, I'm going to be a movie star, where do you fall on the acting spectrum from Trevor to Simon on this egregious note-taking?
I'm like somewhere in the middle, because I like loved doing the notebook work of acting, because it was like you would find your substitution. So like, say I was talking to Damon in a scene, but it wasn't like, it was supposed to be someone who is Damon. I, having known Damon, would like use the kind of conversation tools that we have as friends within that. And so it's like that kind of stuff I love, but you also can't get bogged down by it. Like, you have to write it down so you know in your soul, and then just kind of react as organically as you can. So it's like he was just so stuck on like the history and those little things, where like I'm the kind of person who, I used to make playlists. And so like I would have a feel for what a character was based on the music that I was listening to. So I would like fall between the two, where it's like Trevor barely prepares and Simon over prepares. I'm like happily in the middle, where I'm like, do enough to figure it out, and then I listen to the scene partner and then go from there.
Then one of the highlight of this show to me is, like we talked about, just these two great actors getting to cook on screen together. This unexpected friendship is, I think, the heart and soul of this show. When Simon and Trevor are on the screen together, it's incredible. What are some of your favorite parts of their friendship so far?
I think it's how Trevor helps Simon. I feel like, as as two actors, I feel like he's kind of taking them under his wing throughout some of the episodes. And, it's ulterior motive, obviously. I don't want to spoil that, but I feel like seeing that back and forth between them, when he's kind of like, hey, maybe you got to chill out, you got to relax. Like, come here, let me talk you through. I feel like that's great to see. And just, the caliber of actors that we're getting in this show, I feel like you said, it's very unexpected, but like they're giving it everything. Like, these scenes are great, and just them back and forth. I love every time they're on screen together, like you were saying.
In the middle of watching Watchmen, this HBO series right now as well. I didn't talk about it in Watchin, but I'm about halfway through. So I'm getting all the Yahya Abdul-Mateen right now and really, really enjoying it. Damon, feel free to dive into that friendship. And then also, like Zen talked about, a bit of an ulterior motive here, and we get the introduction of damage control. Talk about that friendship, but also in the vein of it makes it, I really like how it adds to the emotional stakes that you can see how clear the chemistry is between these two guys. And even though Trevor Slattery is a pretty good actor, you can tell that he's got love for Simon, even when he is working for damage control on the side. Which, by the way, that twist, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, well, it just boiled down to like their shared love and admiration of like the theater and the role and the life that is acting. It's not like a job, it's a calling. So they both bond over that. So Trevor finally sees someone who also understands that and feels the same way about it. And that's like the heart and soul between the two, is they both share that calling, which is really nice. But as you mentioned, there is, of course, the ulterior motive. We were kind of like thinking about like who is going to be the villain of this series, and it's the DODC, which we've seen in Miss Marvel, which we've seen in Spider-Man, and we've seen that's about it. We've really only seen those two, and they just kind of play off in the distance and come back in whenever they want. But this is like the most we've really seen them, and I'm like, oh, I feel like there's something here. Whether like down the line we play with them and have them be like an anti-mutant facility, we'll see where we get with that. But I find that whole DODC thing, I don't want to say timely, but like that's just the world, and it really is. So I think they're
actually boiling down to like the specifics of they're going to get shut down because they're not going to be able to secure their funding unless they arrest more people. So they just got to find people to arrest. They got to find people to fill the prisons with so that they can meet their quota. It just, you look outside and go, shit, that sucks.
Yeah. To me, the craziest thing is like this show has been waiting to be released now for well over a year. Like this show's been done for a while, and releasing now, the timing of it, just like the Daredevil trailer, a little cherry on top of the milkshake. I find the role here very interesting, and what I was going to really get at is a lot of Marvel shows, they get lost in the sauce. They get lost in the MCU crazy, the world's gonna die. And the show never does that. It just comes down to like the DODC is the big threat. And I really love it for that.
Rachel, we have Destin Daniel Cretton directing this show, and he obviously started out with Shang-Chi, reintroduced us to Trevor Slattery. And now in this show, the next thing that I'm trying to tie this all together here like a spider's web. But he's doing Spider-Man next, Destin Daniel Cretton is. And in this show, he's kind of got Trevor Slattery doing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He's getting pulled, trying to pull that, hold everything together with his webs, getting stretched out from both sides. On one side, it's the friendship with Simon. On the other, it's the DODC. What did you think about this dynamic between, one, the friendship, but two, kind of how the world is getting in the way of these two passionate people trying to fulfill their dreams?
Sometimes you just want to hang out with your bro, but the world doesn't want you to hang. No, I think, Trevor is a complex character because it's like he got in trouble for taking an acting job, because that is essentially what Iron Man 3 was doing with the Mandarin, was forcing I love Iron Man 3. I think it's such a smart movie, and I think the Mandarin stuff is really smart in that movie, because everyone was just mad until they saw it and realized what they were doing with it, and it was like very cool. But I think in this you get to see the ramifications of like he was manipulated, and he's manipulated again by the DODC in order to like have any ounce of freedom. And it sucks because you can see very clearly that he wants to just nerd out about acting with Simon the entire time. And then he has that guilt of like, but I'm also like supposed to be spying on him. I almost wish that I know it needed to be so that by the end of the show, like there's the big rift and yada, yada, whatever it is. But I do wish that like when he got close to Simon, he almost could have just been like, hey, FYI, they're on to you. Like, now I know your secret. Like, the DODC is like watching you. we gotta be chill about this. Like, they sent me here, but like, I like you, you're my friend. I don't want you to see you. Like, that would have been cool to watch, but I do love what the show did. I just wish I don't like when they were upset with each other. Because I like
it's too good of a friendship. You don't want them to fight. Like it truly is really good chemistry. And I did get to talk a little bit about Andrew Guest about that with our interview, whereas he came from comedy writing. He came from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He came from Community. That's where he was doing most of his writing before getting hired to do some reshoot stuff and rewrite stuff for Hawkeye. And so makes sense why Damon likes him, right? It's the Hawkeye guy. He came in, and no wonder Damon thinks the show's funny. But I feel like you can see hints of the Boyle and Jake friendship from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where it's like these guys aren't the same at all, but the things they share bring them together in such a beautiful way. Like a Troy and Abed in Community, where it's like these are two totally different people, but you get them together and wow, does that chemistry pop. They just love each other. And you see hints of that with Simon and Trevor as well. Damon, I brought up how you enjoyed most of the comedy in this series, except for one episode. And I've been listening to some podcasts. I've been scouring the internet, reading some reviews, and this seems like it's just an incredibly polarizing episode, and that is episode 4, Doorman, where some people love it and some people hate it, and there's not a whole lot of in between. This was the episode that as I was watching this show, I was thinking, I watched the first 3 episodes and I went, damn, this show deserves to be week to week, prime time, have everybody talking about it. And then I watched episode 4 and I went, okay, a binge model might actually be good for this one, because there are some really great episodes, but there's a couple of these that work better watched in unison, I think, watched in a binge setting. And now I do kind of wish, looking back, that they released this as like a episodes 1 to 3, episodes 4 to 6, episodes 7, 8, as kind of like a 3-week drop. We got MTF in chat, team, I love it. He loved it. Ryan in chat, team, I love it. Damon, you were on the opposite side. You told me that this was one of the worst episodes of Marvel television ever.
And I can explain why. Because I gave it to you as this, TJ. If I can summarize an episode like that in a 5-minute montage that could have been put in front of the next episode or behind the last episode, that's a bad episode of TV. Because that's what it could have been. That episode in the end had nothing to do with the rest of the show. It was so tonally different that it stood out to me. I'm like, whoa, what am I watching it? Like, am I watching the same show at this point? Because that's what it felt like to me. We all have come together from a podcast that was hosted by Brandon Davis and Jim Viscardi. And Jim infamously would skip 10 seconds at a time on episodes. I was having to restrain myself on going full Jim Skipardi, TJ, on this episode, because I could see exactly where it was going 3 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, this is like going to be like a mockumentary type of thing. And I'm like, all right, we'll get to it in yet. But it was just a whole episode. It was a whole episode. I'm like, oh my God. Like, borderline cringe at times. I did find the Olaf bit funny. I did find the Olaf Summertime Drunk remix funny. I will give them that. That bit was funny. I think it also would have been funnier in the end if I could just tell you in a punchline in one of the episodes where they just said, what happened to Doorman? I don't know. He disappeared one day and turned into puke. And that's it. The end. I was like, all right. I didn't like it. I really, when I'm telling people to watch a show, if I know their preferences in TV or just taste, I have told a couple people to like, just skip episode 4. I know you won't like it. I know, like, for some people, I know you won't like it.
We're so alike, but so different.
Rachel, give me the reason why it was great.
Oh, I love when shows allow like departure episodes like that, because I think we get so kind of stuck on, well, we have to complete the story, we have to complete the story, we have to complete the story, that like you'll have an offhanded thing where Simon says like, oh, the doorman rule. And then like I would have hated if it was explained at me like I was 5, but I like getting to see not only doorman, but like how they kind of like exploited him and his powers in Hollywood and how that turned into what it did and like the rule and like why Simon has that fear. Because I felt like it made it really kind of pop for the last couple of episodes, knowing like that was his biggest fear, that like they would find out and he wouldn't get to work again because of what happened on that set. So I liked it a lot. I mean, like I like the Johnny Karate episode of Parks and Rec. Like I like when they just kind of detour the tone of something and make it fun, because I think we get so kind of stuck on like looking at a show as an overall theme when we get to kind of play with genres a little. It's why I love Community, which, you know, he wrote on Community. That makes sense why he would have an episode like this, because Community played with genre so much.
My only counter to that is I do like those episodes and longer form comedies that have like the 20 plus episodes. Like you're fully free to do that. When you're playing in with like essentially a mini series here, it's weird. It felt weird to me because it's completely shifted the entire tone for one episode of like a 7 to 8 episode series.
The part that I did find the most interesting, and Rachel, you touched on it there, was how Hollywood can just suck somebody dry. You know, like this was a guy who was happy. This is a guy who had no interest in doing anything other than what he was doing. And it felt like a little bit of a take on like influencer culture that we're in a little bit, where, you know, somebody gets famous because they did something, then they got their 15 minutes of fame. And I always think back to that tweet that I saw of somebody's, I apologize, I don't remember the username account, but they were talking about how Ellen DeGeneres was a necessary predator in the Hollywood ecosystem, because you'd get viral for a TikTok or a Vine, and then you'd go on her show and then you'd never be heard of again. Whereas now we got these, I don't even remember the little dude's name, the Rizzler, and all these different like weirdo things like that, where just like they're like, I have to assume these adults in their life, or just like corporations, are kind of, let's get everything we can from this one and then let's push them aside, move on to the next thing. I did find it to be a very interesting take on that as a whole. But I also kind of agree with Damon in the sense of, I just hate the state of streaming television, where I really like episodes of television that's like side quest episodes. I really like side quest episodes, but I miss longer seasons, because in 6 episode stuff, 8 episode stuff, it does make me want to just stick to the main story. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if this was a 13 episode show, even probably would have liked that quite a bit more, or at least as half of an episode. If it's in an 8 episode thing, it's like half of an episode, then we touch back in. But Zen, how about you? What were your thoughts on the Doorman episode?
I think I'm gonna have to lean more towards Damon, man. I seen what they were trying to do with this episode, and I get that with laying a backstory for the doorman clause and all that, but I do feel like it ran a little long. Like I feel like they cut a little bit out of that. It might have worked a bit more for me, but you know, it was interesting to see. But it did kind of take away, like you were saying, like it's such a short season. You only get 8 episodes, and the episodes aren't an hour long, so it's like it kind of did take a little bit away from my momentum for what I was enjoying from Simon and Trevor and the main story. But I mean, I get why they did it. And that backstory is always good. I do like that. But I just felt like if they would have cut it a bit shorter, it would have worked a bit better for me. So, yeah.
Carlos in chat says, when Josh Gad becomes MCU's Spot, we're going to look back on this episode as foundational.
Oh,
That's funny. That's a good one. Doorman power stuff, I did find that to be very interesting. And I do think there's ways to allow superpowered people into Hollywood without fully exploiting them for their abilities. You know, there was all kinds of insurance liabilities on this whole doorman situation that somebody probably should have thought of before we lose before we lose Josh Gad into a totally different dimension. Shout out to Ryan in chat. He said, bring back Cloak from Cloak and Dagger, and that's how we'll be able to get him out. He'll be able to just go in there and find him. Rachel, any other final thoughts from the first half of Wonder Man or Wonder Man as a whole. I know you got a interview to get to here, so I want your final thoughts on the episode, and then feel free to plug where the people can find your work, where the people can find you on socials, and skedaddle, get out of here, and go make some money, do some
I'm
interviews.
gonna go interview Kevin James. But so here's the thing. I love this show. I love Yaya. I saw him in Top Dog Underdog. I mean, I knew who he was when we went, but like he's so good in that play that I was just like, why is he not doing more? So to see him as Wonder Man, like I really loved it because I loved his Dr. Manhattan. I loved him as Simon. Like I just want to keep seeing Yaya do stuff. I think he's an incredible actor. And so I really loved getting to kind of see how he would do with a character like this. Cause it's like, obviously we know he was in Aquaman and that was what it was, but I do love that he got to like really do something cool with Wonder Man. And I love these episodes and I hope it's not the end. Like I know right now it's just like, here's the one season, but I would love to watch them do more press, do more acting stuff, and exist within the MCU a bit more. You can follow my work at the Mary Sue Collider. I mean, I do some stuff for CBR. You can follow me on social media. It's at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, Rachel_Leishman everywhere else. Thank you. Deuces.
Damon, I there's some chat about how it would have been great to have a little Jen Walters cameo in this one. Give us a little She-Hulk, because you know what Simon Williams needs? He needs himself a superpowered lawyer, somebody who's dealt with this stuff. And it does bring up the idea of a West Coast Avengers. And that's why it's kind of just like getting, you know, like we have She-Hulk on the West Coast, we have Wonder Man on the West Coast, we have the Ant family on the West Coast. We have Shang-Chi on the West Coast. Things like that, Young Avengers, a West Coast Avengers team. It kind of has me disappointed we are getting Doomsday and Secret Wars so soon, because that's the biggest thing. That's been the biggest flaw of the post-Endgame MCU for me, is the constant setting up of things and never tying it together. And so it feels like homework to the casual fan, because they're always saying, look at this next thing, look at this next thing, look at this next thing.
There's no reward for all the vegetables you've been eating. There's no cake at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that really made people fall in love with the MCU was getting to fall in love with these characters. And so when you get to see these characters interact with each other, it means something, because we got 2 Iron Man movies before Avengers, and then we got a third. We got 3 Captain America movies. We got 3 Thor movies. We got to grow. I know there's 4th now, but pre-Endgame, we got to grow with these characters and fall in love with them, and they meant something to us. We don't get that as much in now.
The reward is you get to see all these characters that we've been building up in the solo movies, and then you got to all see them play together, and that was like a thing. Like you had phase 1, in the end, up you got Avengers, yay. Phase 2, up you got Avengers 2, yay. Up phase 3, we're getting some more crossovers. You get 2 Avengers movies, and Carlos is like, we ain't getting any of people in Doomsday. Yeah, it's kind of the point, is that we aren't. What I would like to see, though, and hey, how long have we been saying this? What I would like to see, and I think Destin Cretton is perfect for this. Perfect for a West Coast Avengers, because Destin Cretton seemingly understands what the West Coast Avengers is. And it's a soap opera, much like how the X-Men are a soap opera, the WCA are as well, because they were the has-beens, the leftovers of everything else. You throw them on a team, none of them had their own individual book going out, and you're able to get like Wanda and Vision having kids, ugly kids. I know, TJ, you've seen that panel with the very manly looking babies in the bathtub, but you get to get those stories, and then you get some wild, it's all about interpersonal stories within the WCA, which is why I collect that run. I really like that run. And I think Destin Cretton understands that, because this series, even with the inclusion of episode 4, this series is so character driven, and it never gets lost in like that MCU sauce. And if he can take these characters like Wonder Man would fit. This Wonder Man would fit perfectly on that team. I don't know if any of the Ant family will or any of that. Like we kind of have to like look at the toy box at some point, just be like, what can we do? Like who would work with this? But I would love to see Destin Cran tackle this. I don't know if it would work in live action. I don't know how it would work because that would need to be like an actual like 13, 18 episode thing, the WCA. But it goes in line with the idea of what Marvel said years ago, Disney said years ago, which is we need to rely on our biggest name stuff. And that is not, they're not talking about Iron Man, they're not talking about Thor and all that stuff. They're talking about Avengers.
I don't think there's any chance we actually get a West Coast Avengers project nor a Young Avengers project anymore. Like, could these things somehow get weaved into Doomsday Secret Wars? Maybe, but I just really don't think I think the ship has sailed for that to like branch out into their own thing. And I do think it's such a missed opportunity because like end a phase with a Young Avengers movie, end a phase with a West Coast Avengers movie. At the bare minimum, give us. Yeah, sorry, I got confused by every now and then we get an idiot pop into chat where it's just like, damn, you don't have the ability to critical think. That's pretty disappointing. But I got distracted. At the bare minimum, this is a perfect project to mix in some Jennifer Walters. Give us Shang-Chi popping into a random movie every now and then. At least give us at least remind us that these characters exist. But Zen, any other final thoughts for you on Wonder Man episodes 1 to 4, or even, theorizing on the future of this character, etc.?
Man, y'all have my brain working because like that whole West Coast Avengers, I feel like Destin had kind of been proving himself with these characters. You got Shang-Chi, now you got Wonder Man, now he's doing Spider-Man. I feel like I don't know if we're gonna be getting a lot of like directors kind of carving out their worlds in the MCU, kind of like Coogler did with Wakanda and then Gunn did with Guardians and like the space stuff. Having Destin kind of mold the West Coast Avengers in his own way would have been really cool to see. Like, I don't know if we'll get that, obviously, but just seeing his work on this show and I don't know, man. I had a really good time so far with Wonder Man, and I'm hoping that we do see him again in the future because I feel like Yahya is such a great actor, and what I've been seeing from this show so far is just like, man, I just hope they don't waste him. I hope they don't do him like the Black Knight with Kit Harington. Like, I hope we eventually see him again, and he becomes
Loki would be a
bigger part
great
of the MCU.
character for that West Coast event. Like when I'm talking about like that team, I'm talking about like the scraps almost, seemingly, like where it's like
They
characters
kind
that
of
like
already did that with Thunderbolts, though, right? Like that's the story they told with that group
Yeah.
of like these are the people,
Right.
these are the
Yeah.
Avengers no one wanted.
Yeah, in a
Right.
way, you're right. You're right. I think I'd like to see that in a serialized format, though.
I would too. I would really, really like that. Like if we, and to your earlier point of like, I don't really know how the Ant family would fit. To me, the Ant family would fit as Scott Lang trying to lead this team. And he's obviously not good at it. He is not a leader. That's not his thing. But who is the Avenger that's the least Avengery of all the Avengers? It's Ant-Man. You know what I mean? It's Ant-Man. And so like that would be a good attempt to lead the team kind of person to me.
But my only counter is I don't think Scott's making it out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't. This is perfect world scenarios. I don't actually think this is.
Can also, Carl said if this is it for Yaya, he thinks it's an absolute waste. I will push back on that just because this show, to me, is that good or good enough to where it doesn't feel like we wasted a really good actor on what should have been a really good project. This is a really good project, and I'm glad that he was a part of it. It's not like the Gore, the God Butcher situation to me, right? It's
where
not
the project sucked, or a Natasha Lyonne in Fantastic Four where the role got cut out, things like that.
Yeah, like this to me is not a wasted. Now it will suck if we never see him again, and we may not. It's hard to say.
Here's
We've
the thing,
been
it's
getting teased with Young Avengers Champions. We've been getting teased with Hawkeye season 2. Is that gonna happen? No.
Here's what it comes down to. If people watch this show, there's going to be a second season. If not, there won't be.
Which would weirdly push away from everything that like a spotlight, whatever that means now, is.
I think essentially all that it means is like it's a character-driven story that you shouldn't expect to coincide with the rest of the MCU. But
Which with Echo didn't do that because Echo kickstarted Daredevil season Born
yeah,
Again.
100%. They're always changing. They're never making their minds up about anything. Nothing's set in stone. Zen, any other final thoughts? And give us some plugs. Where can people find you on socials? Where can they find your music? Where can they find your podcast? Where can they find whatever you want them to find?
Man, you can find me at Army Zen everywhere. Instagram. I will be back on Twitter soon. I took a little hiatus, but I will be back soon. As well as the podcast, we will be back very soon. And yeah, man, just keep an eye out. A lot of stuff coming this year. I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited to see everything that's coming with Agents and all the movies and TV shows that's coming this year. It's going to be a packed year, so it's going to be fun.
Couldn't agree more. Damon, how about you? What's coming up on the Comic Corner this week?
Oh man, we got a huge week of absolute titles. Absolute Batman comes out today. We have a little Batman Wonder Woman team up. We have Absolute Wonder Woman, which came out today, which has included now everyone's new favorite DC character of all time, Zatanna, which is wild to see like this iteration of this character just blow up the amount that she has. Go check out Jenna Anderson's video on Zatanna. I know you're going to have her on next week for the second part of our Wonder Man discussion. But she had a great video, which I totally agree with her, on how Zatanna has like the opportunity to be DC's Scarlet Witch in terms of like general popularity if done right. And I couldn't agree more with that concept. What else? Hey, I mean, Marvel's Ultimate Universe may or may not be coming to an end. I don't know. They're coming to an end. We have Ultimate Endgame, and then it's like, oh, Ultimate Rebirth. And I'm like, are we just doing this for new number ones? I don't know. Maybe. But we will be having a discussion soon. I'm going to reach out to our buddy Jam, who you've had on the show a few times, and he has a whole discussion on comments that Jim Lee, the DC editor-in-chief, made about why he thinks manga is outselling American comics here in the US. And that is an entire discussion, an hours-long discussion I'd love to get into.
Heck yeah, looking forward to checking that one out. We got a lot of exciting content coming up here in the near future. You can check out my interview with Wonder Man showrunner, executive producer, writer Andrew Guest, now up on YouTube and wherever you get your pods. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. And we got a lot of exciting stuff coming in the future as well. We're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again. We're going to be talking Invincible Season 4, Paradise Season 2. Lots of exciting stuff coming. You can find us on socials at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. And on Monday, we got a very fun show coming for Wonder Man. We're going to have our guy Caesar back on the show, as well as Jenna Anderson giving our deep dive breakdown. You can find some good reviews up on agentsofFandom.com right now, including Ryan's for the new movie with Dylan O'Brien, Rachel McAdams, Send Help. You can find that one in theaters right now. Read some comics, go to the movie theater, support local, and come hang out with the Agents of Fandom. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in with us today. On behalf of myself, Damon, Zen, and Rachel, who had to bounce out a little bit early, we will see you next time. Peace.